So in addition, that brings about this expectation of industry partners when we start talking about the auditors coming in. And what you probably know in the defense world anyway is auditors in the form of DCMA coming in, or DCAA, of course, as well. But DCMA is going to be the ones coming in asking about your property and your equipment and your material and how you're reporting it. Now, what we've also been seeing in the community is that programs are coming in to audit the government property managers that have custody of their government property. And so now the expectation of opening your doors for somebody to come see your equipment, to come see your record keeping, you know, when GFP is being held under this FAR 52245-1, they determine reasonable notification to now mean 10 business days, right? Now, exceptions can be granted on a case-by-case basis, but you know you can't in any way impede the audit progress according to the way they've written these rules. Now, that also means that the management of the subcontractor obligation is there as well. What we've been seeing here at A2B Tracking is that it's not only the prime contractors that are now using us to manage this equipment and property and the data, but the subcontractors are also falling under this obligation to ensure that they have those checks and balances in place. So of course the components need to balance the needs of industry. They can't just, you know, come in and disrupt everything. You know, you always negotiate the best time, but just bear in mind that the rules are changing slightly, and they can be, you know, they can really be impactful if you're not ready for them. However, at the end of the day, and particularly for those non-military federal agencies, this should not be earth-shattering, because government agencies, for example, NASA, you know, they've all been under the same scrutiny to maintain a clean audit opinion. It's the Defense Department that's really under the spotlight right now because it's so massive in scope, and the failed audits that have followed these initial rounds of auditors being on the road, being in the streets. So a couple other things, you know, the key message here is that this level of audit support is the new normal for contractors. And on the list of the top, you know, half a dozen priorities for improvement that the inspector generals have looked at, government property is definitely in the top half dozen priorities. This was actually taken from a GFP working group from a gentleman, Brian Sykes, who I want to give attribution to. We thought this was an important slide in which to share.